What's going on? Happy Monday, people. How we living? How you doing? Max levels already in the chat. It's a gold day. JPY, CHF moves. Love to see it. How you doing, Max? How you making out, brother? Welcome back to the stream. 3 days off, Friday to Monday. It's far too long for my liking, but it is what it is. So real quickly before we hop in, let's knock out the disclaimer real quick, and we'll get a move on. Disclaimer, trading any financial market requires a high level of risk and may not be suitable for all investors. You should only trade with money you can afford to lose. Proper risk management is essential. Trading all financial markets. If you do not have an understanding of proper risk management, it would be best to educate yourself further before beginning to trade. The content I provide is for general information purposes only, entertainment, and should not be interpreted as advice, investment, or financial or otherwise, because I am not a financial services provider. However, if you choose to follow along with any of my trade positions, you do so at your own risk. Now, let's get to the real talk. What is going on in the market today? So I'm on a daily here, and we'll start at the top with, let's get this out of the way. All right, so we're still in an uptrend on AU. Came back, a little bit of consolidation. I'm chilling, Max. I am chilling, man. I'm living it up. So we are in an uptrend, consolidating. I still would like to see it come and try and retest these highs, but let's break down a little bit lower because you can see that you have fallen off and you are kind of making a little bit of lower structure. And then as you get lower and lower in the time chart, you're going to see more and more of like a downtrend, so to speak. But in my opinion, I see it something like this. I see a descending channel. Is it a corrective channel? I don't know, but I see something like this on AU. Drop it down to the 15-minute, and you can just see it's, just a bigger channel. So right now, I'm definitely still looking for longs, I believe, in my opinion. We still have a little bit of space on ADR. Might not be the best pair, but this is what it is. George in the house, Jorge, all the best. I don't trade on Fridays just because it was a day where I had the most losses, and it was really bringing down my percentages in my P&L, so I just scrapped Fridays. Michael is flat today, nothing. All right, good. Not bad. Not wrong with being a little bit flat on a Monday. Take it slow. Sometimes the market just needs to kind of wake up a little bit. All right, so let's give an EA look here. We know that the overall trend on this has been down. And you can see it's still in a downtrend. Last week a little bit, you kind of had a correction up, and it's definitely a little bit weak here. Actually, let me leave that. Let's see what we look like. On a real quick, you can see this. If you can get like a nice bearish candle, you're in a position to get some good momentum to the downside, but you have to wait for that to happen. What's up, CJ? All is well. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Same to you. 1.3%. Not too shabby, brother. Very nice. Seems to be your number. I think last time you were telling me you're up 1.3%. Something like that. So we're still kind of in this downtrend on EA. It's kind of just sideways, if you ask me. Looks like a range, doesn't it? Like a sideways range. So that's kind of how I would see it right now. Yeah, you definitely want to see it come down if you can. Let me get rid of this line. That would make sense to me. Yeah, just choppy. If you don't see chop, this is what it is. So no clear direction right now. We're definitely like to try and stay short biased on the overall downtrend, but right now is indecisive. EU is a funny one because you had this uptrend, but then all last week you had this downtrend. But I think the overall is still to the upside. But you can see again, kind of like AU, you have like this going on. Kind of like even if you were to draw from back here, you kind of have this, something to that effect. Your long ECHF and gold. All right, check that out in a second. See where you're at. Looks like maybe coming back to this area right here. Break it down to the 1 hour. So yeah, it was in a downtrend. Let's not deny that. Like, it was in an uptrend, and then as of last week, it's been in this downtrend. Okay. Can't deny that this isn't making like lower price, but it could be just a correction off of the larger time frame, because right now you're starting to get some kick, and this isn't a bad candle right here to try and come and check these highs. But we'll see. So I like EU to the upside. GJ all last week, you could see just making structure low, break and retest, since like the 9th. So then we come down here, and you could see just head and shoulders, if you will, if you like to trade patterns. Shoulder, head, shoulder, breaks the level. Can't get up as high as it comes down, can't break lower, then it comes back up to the level, finds resistance, breaks down, chops, and then it fell off from Wednesday, I believe. So it's still in this downtrend. You're potentially coming back into this level here. Maybe something like that, where it kind of chopped through, broke, retested here, then fell off. Now you're back into the box. So it's a little bit kind of unclear to me at the moment, because it could just hold here and then continue down to these lows, or it's going to continue higher. Not exactly sure. And then pound is going to be similar to GJ. You can see it kind of came up, broke, came back into here, but it couldn't hold it to move higher. It actually fell back down, fell through here, just one pin to it, and fell off. So you're definitely in a downtrend. You can see like break and retest the structure. I was not awake for this. I was actually, but I don't trade at that time, like 2 o'clock in the afternoon. That was on Thursday, I believe. Yeah, right here. But remember what we always said last week, and I believe I said it on EU too as well. I'm not going to trade this. I want to see it break, retest, and then show me continuation, and it did. So today, you have some divergence. So it's moving off that divergence. So I'm not 100% clear on what's happening today, but we do have, you know, we have time to see how it plays out. All right, so let's take a look at some gold. I haven't looked at gold in a long time. Gold, 1754 pushing. Yeah, I would be long on it as well, Max. I think that's the right direction. Pushes up, comes down, finds support at the level, throws this engulfing pattern in here. Although if you're in the lower time frames, like a 5-minute or 1 minute, you may be able to find breakout earlier and get in before this bar even extends. But if you didn't, stop is here, or entry is up here, stops at the bottom. You are looking to see if you can break these highs first, though. Is not really divergent, but I would stay to the upside on it. I don't see why not. Higher time frames here. Yeah, you're at the high here, so you need to clear that high. It looks like it has potential, and then maybe you can try and come and test up here, 65, something like that. Euro Swiss is a slow pair. I don't quite like that trade. I guess you're long off of the divergence, looking, yeah, as you can see it's failing to makes a lower low here, comes up, fails to make a lower low, makes a higher high, makes a higher low, consolidates, engulf right here. can see it right here. Kind of clears this range, giving you momentum to the upside. First, you're trying to clear this high, then you're going to try and test this high. So yeah, I dig it. I think you're potentially in the right direction. On a looks good here, holding trend line, kind of pulling out. Trend is down overall, so what you would be taking is kind of like a correction, because you can see this is clearly in a downtrend making structure. It's just coming back into this area here. So I would just keep an eye on it. See if you seem to fail to break that high here and you reject off of it, then you're going to continue in your downtrend. That's how I would see it. So that's where we're at. So let's see how we look. These lower time frames. See if I can kind of help my bias. Yeah, just a little choppy right now. CJ made money on EA. Which direction? Did it down? Did you catch it in here? Or in here? Where'd you make money on the upside? Short, yeah. Short seems more plausible to me. It's overall, as we said, like in this downtrend, it's been falling. It's just, there's a lot of consolidation going on around the market, not just the pairs I trade, but all over the place. But you can see right here how it failed on the 15th to make the high, made a high here, came down, and once it fell down, instead of continuing to fall towards these other lows, it just found consolidation. I still like it to the downside. Got in at 16. It's pretty good. 163.16. Yeah, that's good. That's like right here. 16. So kind of like in here or here. Are you still in it, or you closed it out at 1.3? I mean, to me, I'd still like to see it come down and test this low and the bottom of this structure. 57. That's 34 pips from where it's at. I would like to see that. That makes sense to me. Closed it out. Emotions got in the way, unfortunately. What's up, Pockets? Good morning, brother. How are you? Didn't like the pins. Yeah, I understand that. I could see how that could cause some hesitation, but as long as you're seeing valid reasons for the trade to continue, then you just got to follow your rules. But it does look a little choppy. Not the cleanest of setups. I'd really like to find myself in something today, but I'm not going to force something on a Monday. I'm really looking to have a successful week this week, and I'm looking to be, I don't want to say aggressive, that's the wrong word, but I want to be a little bit more willing to follow through on my ideas. I know like the last 2 Mondays, I found positions on GJ and I didn't take them, and they were both wound up being winners. So I feel that I'm seeing the market really well and I have a very good handle on it, and I'm not just throwing money around willy-nilly. So if I do feel like I have a probable opportunity, I want to be more inclined to trust my analysis this week. So that's kind of what I'm trying to focus on. EU definitely looks like it's finding some momentum back to the upside on its overall trend, but we're keeping an eye on it as we approach the top of this level. It does look like it's trying to clear this high, and if that's the case, then you have a higher low here, a higher high, a higher low, and then you're trying to make a higher high. So you're starting to try and create uptrending structure. If it does clear here at 26, then you're trying to target 48 because you have to test highs if you're going to come higher. And if it fails here, then you could see potentially a double top and then to the downside. But right now it looks like a little bit of momentum to the upside. But that's it. That's kind of where we're at right now. I'm trying to reduce my EMAs. As you can see, I just have the 50 on. I'm trying to just put my eyes more on the structure and get off of these EMAs. Because like I said, eventually my goal is to just get rid of all of them. So take it slow and just take a little bit away at a time just to kind of help me keep my structure. But having the EMAs was just really was kind of clogging my vision. I was having a hard time and it was keeping me from seeing what I needed to see. But you can see here, you make a low, come up, finding support here, and continuing to drive. So let's see if it can keep moving. In here on the 5-minute, potentially a reset to the 800 to these highs. Comes down, finds support to kind of like quick like reversal engulfing pattern right here, and then just continues up. If you're in on the 1-minute down in here at 845, maybe you see something. Not really. But if you're looking at it structurally, comes down, makes a low, comes up, holds, and then right here, this candle kind of breaks off, telling you that you're probably potentially continuing higher. Hits this level right here as a high, breaks it, comes back, uses it as support, throws another engulfing. You can see the level right here at 67. That's all it is, break, and then retest as support, and then same. So now you're trying to get past these highs. So again, the downtrend has been strong in this recently. We see that it's been falling, so let's not get too crazy on buys just because that's been the overall trend back here. The overall trend lately, as of all last week, is short. So there's still definitely possibility that this is still in a down trend from last week. Dollar index breaking higher, coming back potentially to use this area as support to maybe continue its momentum to the upside. Unsure. I'm definitely unsure. Because now it looks like it's falling. This definitely looks like it's falling as it hits this low. So maybe we do see EU break up higher. AU. Same thing, kind of threw pins here earlier. Just throw just a little bit here. That doesn't mean anything, but keep an eye on it. Still seems like it's trying to come higher as the dollar index comes lower. Same with GU, I would assume. GJ. Breaks down, comes up, breaks up. Yeah, I'm not quite sure. Like I said, this could just be, um, you know, like this. Uses structure as resistance, comes up, breaks through it, retests, pushes down, comes through it, but comes right back down. Now you're stuck in it. Is it going to try and continue lower as it's been moving lower? I'm not sure, because we did say that the dollar index looked like it was falling, but this could be finding support here. I'm going to take it real slow and see what happens. So that's kind of where we're at right now. How's everybody else making out? Anything you guys are looking at? Anything that you're focusing in on? Other pairs that I don't necessarily look at? AN pockets, ECAD. You can see EA here on like a 5-minute. It's definitely divergent on a TDI, but you're starting to fail to make, like, because here is a low, and it comes up, then this isn't as low, and then this isn't low. So, like, is this starting to maybe pull off of this on a short term, and then maybe that leads to some momentum on the higher, you know, because it starts on a 1 minute, then a 5 minute, and then a 15, a 30, and it all just coalesces from there. This failed to make a lower low. Now it's testing this high right here. If it breaks that high, then potentially it would come back, use it as support, and then move higher. Considering to get in again if I could find valid entry on EA. Pockets is flat. Watching both, nice. Yeah, I definitely, EA to me just is, I just don't like this range just because it's just hard to pick a direction. Because now it could be, you know, you threw a pin down here, came up, threw a pin up here, came down. It's kind of throwing some rejection here. So now maybe does it come up a little bit? Does it chop? Does it break out? I don't know. And I always say, like, when I don't know, I just don't trade it. But it's been, as of today, it's been falling. You do have a little bit of divergence. And this last leg failed to break. So it's like maybe showing support. Like to see ECAD break the 800 and hold the upside on the 5-minute. Looks a little choppy. Just looks stuck. Definitely want to see, like you said, break out. If it's going to go higher, you want to see it break out, come back and use an area as support, and then throw you a bullish pattern that you recognize as continuation. So I definitely want to see it break this zone first. Otherwise, you might just get stuck in it. That would be my 2 cents on it. Yeah, it's just been sideways. Like, kind of like this. Even like that. Bodies. Just like failed to break out. Might have induced here. Then just quickly fell. Fell back down. Might have induced somebody here. And quickly pulled right back in. That's all right. I mean, if pairs are gonna be a little choppy, then I'm gonna be a little patient. and wait. Yeah, patient. Because again, like we said last week, like yeah, the consolidation sucks and it makes it hard to trade, but you know what's coming after a consolidation breakout, and then that's where you make the money. So here you go, like EU on a 5 minute. If I can click the 5 minute chart, potentially it kind of broke the high. Now it's coming back at this area. Pins kind of showing resistance. Maybe it's going to try and move higher to maybe come and test this high. ADR is up here. Or is it? But it is kind of weaker here at the moment. You can see like this high was all the way overbought. Now this is not. So does that mean that this is weak, or does that mean that it just has more momentum to the upside because there's more space to be, more price to move before it's OB? I don't know. I haven't figured that one out just yet. That's why I just try and rely on structure. It's easier to understand structure than it is to try and understand a subjective indicator. Hmm. 13 pips at 2 lots is still good money on EU. Oh, for sure. For sure. 100%. I mean, it's 260 bucks. I'll never turn down $260. But I definitely rather hit it right and make like 600 or 1,000. And I think that's just where the patience really comes in. But yeah, let's see what EU does here, because like we said, like it looks like it's trying to come higher, but this overall trend has been down. And again, you can't deny that this is in a downtrend right here. Like just trending lower, kind of like choppy lower. That's why I don't know like if this is actually a true downtrend or if it's like just a larger corrective pattern. But if you break this low here and then you come back and use it as resistance and then you drive off it, then you're going to see a lot more momentum. Then you're going to probably try and come into like this area, that seems to make sense. This was all the way back here in March at like 47, 1147, which is like 180 pips, is it? 27 to 40. No, it's not that much. It's like 100 and yeah, it is. It's like 180. No, it's 80, not 180, just 80. Math, quick math. No, she doesn't trade. She's usually just my emotional support. She used to trade a little bit, and she was pretty good, but it's not really her thing. But she understands the market somewhat, and she understands me a lot better. So I think kind of having an idea on the market, but knowing me, I think that's where like her strength lies. But you know, she definitely used to do it. This dollar index does look like it wants to keep falling. But it seems like it's stalling. Maybe here, kind of in this level. Like you had hit here. Like I try and find as many hits to a zone. So here as support, drove right through it, but then came right up. Again as support. Again as support. Again as support? Question mark. Kind of looks better. I mean, this looked really good here. Not sure why it didn't keep falling. And even more so if, you know, you extend it out like, oops. This definitely seems like it's had a lot of price not just blasting through it, but creating kind of choppiness every time it's hit this level. So that's where I try and find significant levels. But to me, this looks at the moment, and even if you were like, you know, it looks like it wants to keep falling. Like maybe this time it actually does fall through. And if that's the case, then you're going to see, yeah, it does look like it wants to try and fall through. That might drive these higher. See how EA is making out. EA has 3 candle forming. Which time frame? Kind of here on the 1 minute. Kind of like a 1, 2, 3. Above this level. Could maybe see it try and get back up to like a full reset. Maybe check these highs. 15. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, kind of like a 2 candle here. Yeah, you might see it try and test this, but I'm not sure. I mean, I'm really not sure. It still has the potential to fall. I don't know. It's just too choppy for me. Lower time frame definitely says like it's trying to come short term higher. When it hits a 1 minute 800, you think about for like return back down, because I know CJ you're short, right? You're short biased on it. GJ showing some weakness. Pins on the hour. On a 30 minute, just like it's up and it's consolidating, but like it's failing to break this high. Now maybe it just comes up, consolidates, and then ignites higher. This is weak on this TDI. See how it's not even getting through it? Like it's double topping underneath this market sentiment. I don't necessarily like that. And that doesn't mean that it's automatically going to fall off. You know, it might just find support here, and then the next candle just drives through. And in that case, I would be potentially consider like a long. Um, but right now it's kind of like it was in the zone, and then like it's just failing. Not exactly sure. Let me see. think maybe you probably want to stay short biased on it perhaps, because this could just be correcting off of this downtrend. Like clearly it's falling. This is a significant level here. See what I mean? Like here. So now you're in this level. But that doesn't mean that it can't come back to this level and try and test it again to see, because you are falling still. You haven't really started to make higher high structure, so I'd still stay short biased on this. Now you're starting to push down. So I think you would still want to stay short on it. Now, I don't know. Is there any news today or anything? I didn't even check Forex Factory. My internet's kind of dragging. 11 o'clock, so nothing in this session. Doesn't mean that things can't break, but I don't know. Do I consider this a double top here on the 5-minute on GJ? Like divergent comes down, double top. Is this an igniting candle that clears this whole structure here? Is this the entry with the stop at like 20 pips? And I'm going for like 40? Or is this coming down to hold as support? We say that we feel this is an overall downtrend, so staying with the trend short would be smart. We're not seeing structure. It's pinning away from this. You might be plausible to find a short here to try and come down here, which is 50 something. You would want your stop probably above this structure. ECAD broke. If it's still testing the neckline of it. Yeah, it could be. It could be, Michael. You have to see how it. I just see this right here is weakness right now. Like it's just failing. We know the trend is short overall, so I think if your bias is to stay with that, stop would be like 20 pips. Does it have 40 in it? Yeah, it's got way more than 40 in it. Let's look around. Let's see what GU is doing. GU looks identical. Double top, divergent. Double top underneath. Dollar index. Finding some support here at the moment. Stock market just opened too, so that could be causing a little bit of momentum. I'm not going to jump in anything just yet. but I definitely got my eyes focused. And I'm trying to figure out the story right now before I make my direction. EA just thumping. Like I said, coming back to this 800, broke this high and kind of used it as support. See how it handles. This is when you get a candle that's really extended like this, like for instance on a 1 minute, you're going to see hesitation on it. It's gonna chop, it's gonna pull back. Like big candles like that don't often just continue running. They usually find themselves with some sort of resistance. And we said that we felt that the dollar index was still going to keep falling. So if that is indeed the case, and we're yet to see that as a fact, but that's our probable analysis. If that's the case, then GU potentially come up higher. Look at this, how it's rejecting right now. You still got almost 6 minutes, so we're going to let the candle close. And that's also why I didn't just jump right in on either GJ or GU, because I'm not completely, I haven't figured out the story yet of what's happening. EA testing the highs here. 1, 2, 3 times on the 15-minute. So it's like right here. 1, 2. But now this is driving. I have to see how it. EU consolidating at this high right here. Kind of broke it. Now it's like kind of chopping. If dollar index is indeed falling, then this will continue to the upside. But we're not sure yet. Breaks it, breaks on the hour. Does look like it's kind of falling away a little bit. Comes up. See now, sentiment is rising. You could just, this could be the engulfing 4 candle, like moves up, comes back, pushes higher, comes back, and then this is the engulfing, but it's not just running away. Is this like going to kind of consolidate and then pump higher? Or is it going to fall? I'm not sure yet. I'm really not sure which way this moves. If, if I'm a betting man, I would want to say short to kind of like retest this structure low, um, right here. But because it is falling, so you would want to see it. It hit here, came back up into this consolidation, come and test it again. Usually it's like a double bottom. Doesn't have to. It can just V bottom and push out. But in my opinion, I think that this might have to come lower and test this. So now it's just a matter of timing, I think. Can you get the right time on your entry and not get bopped out? If that's the case, I think you need to stop above here. And if it does come higher, then it's not coming lower. But I don't want to take a 50 pip stop and try and aim for 100. and I don't know that this is a level that's going to hold. Like if you're in up here, this failed to come back up and break these highs, so then maybe it's coming back down. So is this the lower high? Is my stop safe up here at like, 80, like a 25 pip stop, and then you go for 50? So you try to get right down here to like 132 flat, which is almost the bottom. Is that how I should play it? I don't know. This story isn't that convincing yet. EU still consolidating. It's holding to 50. You're in a buying kind of sentiment, but again, it's failing. It's not. And this is divergent. See, this is higher and this is lower, but this is lower and this is higher. So that's divergent right there. It failed to make a high here. You do have buyers in this area, as you can see. Price tried to drive down, buyers buying it up. Holding. I'm not sure, man. I'm really not sure. It's a little bit suspect at the moment. EA. Again, like we said, kind of 3 hits in this area. 1, 2, 3, leaving pins. Maybe sellers are stepping in. We're still in a downtrend. Well, we're sideways, but we know that previously it had been in a huge downtrend. It had been falling. Came up, down, consolidate, and then push higher? Like out of this zone? Or is it going lower? Like break down, consolidate, and then down. I hate when it's indecisive like this. I have a really hard time trying to pick a direction. EU got going in this consolidation, just pushing out. Dollar index trying to come lower. As we said, looks like it's definitely trying to fall. It's trying to. So then EU should be coming higher. Yeah, you can see it was falling. Kind of hit this bottom and now it's pushing up on the daily. I still feel like there's potential to the downside on this though. High, low. It's not quite making uptrending structures here on the hour. It's just kind of hit a bottom and moved off it. Is a little divergent. Yeah, there goes EU. Yeah, dollar index falling down to this low here. Yeah, you could clearly see it looked like it was had the potential to just fall, just kind of consolidated and then fell. But there was no, I didn't really, I couldn't find an entry. None of these candles really spoke to me like, yeah, these are ones to get in on. Obviously you could just kind of put it under here, but I'm not being risky like that. I'm looking for something clear and obvious. And as we said, in the 15-minute, if you're long bias, then this one might have been it right here. Just kind of just came down, consolidated, and this one just strongly breaks out of this zone. Next one pushed up, consolidate, and then push higher. So it's like the flag, up higher, consolidate higher. Because overall, you saw this to be in an uptrend, and this could just be, this is still in a buying area on this TDI. So there's still, you don't want to go away from the trend. This is just a correction. So we'll see if it continues. And if it indeed is just a correction, or if it's not. But yeah, it's gone. There's no play on this now. It's right here at like 9 o'clock, and I had just jumped on. I wasn't ready to get in that. I hadn't done enough analysis yet. How you make it out on EuroCAD? Seeing anything probable for you? Yeah, it's the CAD versus the dollar on this pair, because it's euro dollar euro CAD. This pair is just too choppy. I want to stay hot on this though. I like GJ. I think I like it to the downside. It's failing right here on a 5-minute to break these highs at the moment. Right here. You can see it's not making higher highs. Especially here. This is divergent. Fell down, came up. This is also divergent. And these two touches, because these are even on price action, but not on TDI. This is slightly lower. This is failing to break the high, so structurally you're failing. Again here on the 1-minute, failing. Ooh, it's just wicking up and down, kind of taking people out, collecting orders, hitting stops. I think the move is short though. Just staying with the overall higher time frame structure. I mean, it's been a downtrend. Hits this zone. I'd like to see it fall off this zone and come and check this bottom. Now the question is, if I do believe that, where can I get in clean? You got to get in clean. And right now I'm having a hard time finding a clean entry. EA doesn't know what it wants to do. I know, it just leaves out interesting information on EA. Yeah, man, this market's being a little funny, so that's why I want to be patient with it. It looks like on the 5-minute you're failing to break the high. If you look back here, see how it set this high, pushed off it, corrective channel, couldn't break the high, pushed down, corrective channel, tries to break out, but it's not breaking the high. So right now it's just kind of like in a range, in more of a, it's in a short-term range and in a long-term range. um, I don't know that EA is going to offer me a clean opportunity because it hasn't given me direction, but that's why I'm kind of really focused on GJ, just because we can clearly see a trending structure. It's to the downside. Now we do see that on a higher time frame, it has also reached this bottom here, that it kind of used as support and created all of that upward momentum like 2 or 3 weeks ago or more. at the beginning of the month of June. And then now we're in this downtrend back to here. So I would like to see it at least come and test this zone again because it's been falling. And if it's going to keep falling, then I don't think a single touch is enough. I think you're going to see it touch again. And then maybe it just chops between these two areas. Maybe it's up, down, up, down. So to me, I want to try and take it back down with the overall trend, which has been down. So I want to stay with that short biased to try and get back down here to like 80, something like that. That makes the most sense to me. Now, maybe it's not today. Maybe today it just kind of consolidates and it doesn't move, and then it moves, in London or whatever. That's certainly a possibility. But if I am going to take this trade, I think I want to try and take it short. And maybe I'm wrong and it just moves up and then, okay, whatever. But I think that's the way I kind of want to play it. I think I want to stay with the short trend. I mean, clearly, if you asked a 7-year-old and said, "What does this look like it's doing right now?" They'd say, "Well, it looks like it's falling." Keep it that simple. Just stay with it. It looks like it's falling. It's been falling. I want to stay short. Now, maybe here you could say, "Oh, well, it came up and it made a lower high, or excuse me, it made a higher low, and made a higher high, and now it made a higher low. So maybe this is starting to create an uptrending structure on the 15-minute, but on the hour, that's not the case. If this is if this is the higher low, then it's going to break out, use it as support, and then continue higher. To me right now, this is just back into the zone to potentially come back down. Like breakdown, correction, chop, push back down. Very choppy today. EU strength. Just that dollar index must be falling hard, yeah. And you could see it. You could see on this 15-minute just how it was just free falling. That's why I call it free fall. When in the TDI everything is just falling, it's free fall, and this thing's getting a lot of momentum down. AU shoved up with it. Maybe here on AU, if you're staying long biased, maybe this is the momentum candle. See how it clears everything? Now it's consolidating. Is it then going to try and test up here at like ADR? Because you could see you had a high, came down, failed to break it. Now you broke the high, and this candle is extended. And what do we say when we see extended candles? Usually you see consolidation, you see a little bit of hesitation before continuation. This is through on the 5-minute. It's in a buying area. Your stop would be down here. If you do feel, maybe you're taking like an 18 pipper, but doesn't have 36 in here for me. It doesn't. It's got 18. So it's a 1-to-1 technically, so I'm not looking at that. But that potentially, and you can hold it, and maybe it moves through Asia because Australian moves in Asia, Sydney, Tokyo, all that stuff. Maybe that's the case. I don't want to play it like that. I don't want to hold that trade. But if indeed the dollar index is going to keep falling, then you would be logical to presume that this pair might continue to the upside. But I'm not going to take that one. And if AU does continue higher, then potentially maybe EA comes lower. Maybe. Maybe here. Nah, see, I don't. It's too choppy. I was gonna say, like, it's failing to break the high, come down. You're looking like to break, bearish engulfing for continuation, but it's too choppy. It's like too indecisive at the moment for me. You're hitting these lows. Maybe it comes back into this zone that we had drawn. Maybe it comes back in here. Kind of checks this area. Starting to oversell a little bit. So you might see some slowing. GJ just moving higher. Maybe I'm wrong. And that's fine if I am. Because I'm just not trading it. A minute until we get our candle. Yeah, maybe it is the structure is holding maybe on the 15-minute. Like I said, I still want to stay short biased on it just because the overall trend has been falling, and then maybe this is it where it's like reversing, and then the short isn't the look, but I'd rather try and stay with this overall trend if I can. If I can find a good valid reason for taking it, that would make more sense to me. You just got up and got gone without a clean entry for me. Dog is over here snoring. Ah, crap. All right, so haven't broken the highs yet, but this is getting some momentum on GJ. So I'm going to keep an eye on this and see how it handles it on the hour. Didn't quite break out of this consolidation. Doesn't mean anything, it could still go, but for me, I'd rather see a better candle. This could just be failing to make the high and then we're going to fall off. On AU, hitting back to the zone that we had drawn. Pretty strong candle here. Like I said, you might see this continue upward, but there's not enough ADR in it, and I'm not holding it into Asia, so I'm going to just let that go. EA, still just kind of choppy. Looks like it's, maybe corrective. It's just choppy. It just isn't a pair today. GJ, GU broke out, broke the highs right here. I mean, clearly that's a higher, broke the high, but it is potentially divergent. So let's see how it handles on a pullback. On an hour, did break out, could come higher, could see up, support higher. This could be the igniting candle. I don't know though, because to me it's still within this level. I don't know. I don't know. Alex, is your laptop running? Yeah, I need that within the next 30 minutes. Now you are breaking the highs here on a 5-minute and the 1-minute. Definitely breaking this area, come back, potentially use it as support, and then move off it. But you still haven't broke this high yet. So I don't want to be hard-headed and just continually staying short bias if it's not. Oh yeah, Um, gonna move short, but right now it's not looking that way. Thank you. Can you grab those two slips that are on my dresser from work? What's up, bro? Hey, making out. Is it Moogish? Moogie? What's going on, brother? How you living? How's your trading? Yeah, dollar index just kind of free falling. EU back to the highs from Friday. Thanks, love. GU right at these areas. Looking like it's trying to come up. Lost 70 bucks. I mean, that's not terrible on the US 500. As long as as long as you have a $100 account, and 70 bucks shouldn't be too bad. As long as you had good risk management, then that's all you can try and do is just keep your losses small and just wait for the next setup. Sorry about that. Hey, Drew, how do you consider as entry? Which pair? It's just like anything else. Like you just want to see, um, you know, a candle that shows you breakout. You want to see rejection to an area, like this was rejection, and now maybe this candle here, like on GJ, is the like igniting candle to move it higher. But again, like because it like cleared all of this consolidation, like you can see like it kind of failed, and then drove hard. Now it's coming down. Now maybe there's still 7 minutes. You don't know what this is going to turn into, but you're kind of trying to be in a buying sentiment short term, but I was trying to stay short biased on this just because of what we see. You've seen now maybe it's done moving lower because it moves so much, and now maybe it's just correcting off, and then like we said, with everything happening here, kind of hitting this level, maybe it's hit this level and bouncing off higher before coming lower. So maybe I'm being too stubborn, staying short biased on it. I'm not reading what the chart is saying, and maybe this is indeed the entry here, and the stop is here, and I go for 50 to the upside. I don't know. I'm not trying to go against the trend. Just when it's clear and obvious, you'll know it. And what we said on EU was that we're seeing it like, I guess maybe much like GJ in that essence, but you're in like a buying position with this like TDI, and then it, you know, creates structure, moves higher, creates structure. Well, now you're at least coming to test this area first. This candle kind of engulfs. It's like right to the top of it, but this could be the igniting candle, and it just moves higher. It's just like break and retest. This was a little bit uncertain because I wasn't sure if it was going to break out. But when you then compare it to the dollar index and you see how the dollar index just looked like it was falling, then you can build the case that EU is probable to rise. GU too, and like I said, maybe this is the candle for GU, this one here. Broke the highs, pulls back a little bit, maybe try and get an entry on a pullback. Stop is here. But this trend has been down, so I don't want to like go against that. And that's why I say same about GJ. The trend has been down. So to me, it's like retested this zone right here. Maybe it just holds this level and then falls off. And then like Michael, like on GJ, when we said like you want to see it break the level here that we had drawn, and then it comes up and retests the level, and then you just look at for like momentum. Like there's not really a bad entry. You just have to have the right stop. So like you could take this one, or if you feel safer, this one, but you have to make sure that your stop is back up here above the structure. So then it's like a 25 pip stop. Clearly, I point like you can see it. Clearly it didn't break that 25 pips, and then it falls, almost 300. So that's like almost 10R. And you're just taking momentum like, okay, this is clearly it broke this level, it's retesting this level, now it's starting to push away. You take your entry, you get your stop above it. If it's indeed going to continue with the trend, then it's going to create a lower high, not a higher high. So a stop above this area should be sufficient as it is, and it just falls to shit for like 300 pips almost with a 25 pip stop. But now maybe it's found the bottom, it's divergent, you know, so you're getting movement off even from back here. But if you do it just here, like clearly it's divergent, you know. It's also a descending channel. The structure breaks the channel, goes sideways, and then it's pushing off. There's a lot of different ways to see it. I think the idea is just to continue with market experience and continue refining, back testing. But that's why I'm not completely confident that the buy is the move here, because look what happened. We came in this range, down, tried to break out, couldn't, broke down, retest. Here's an entry here, potentially, if you like that. you know, rejects with pins and then throws this. Maybe not the best. Maybe this 2 candles a little better because you could see like, okay, now it's definitely failing again. Stop here or entry here, stop here, 20 pips, it goes 40. You hit your 2R because now it confirms that, yeah, you know what, this might not have been great because it wasn't like engulfing. But you can see the rejection comes up, tries to move higher, can't. Bearish engulfing, take that, stop at the top right here, and then falls off. Now here, clearly broke back up. Now it's trying to break higher, but you're still in this zone. You still haven't broke these highs. So while it looks promising to the upside, and it may very well move to the upside, if that's going to be the case, I want you to come higher, then show me support at this area, and I'll take it to go higher from there. I don't want to take the breakout because overall trend has been down. So I don't want to be, and maybe that's not the breakout. Maybe this was, and this is just more continuation. But I'm still short biased. And maybe I'm being stubborn and maybe I'm wrong. But I don't want to go against the trend. Choppy, 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 choppy. All right, give me 2 minutes. We'll keep an eye on some things. I will be right back. I just got to do something. I'll be right here. My bad. I'm back. Yeah, it doesn't. It's not falling away just yet on the hour. Seems like she's getting more strength to the upside. Come back to test this area here, like 95, 133 flat, something like that. Don't know. Watching AN for possible reversal or a continuation. Yeah, he definitely had some good momentum to the downside from earlier. Man, this thing is just cracked out. Hasn't gone ADR yet. Definitely looks like it's still falling. Sub CD, yeah. I'm just trying to find position today, but I'm not quite sure, man. I don't want to be jumping in, but look, you're getting divergence right here off these two. I still like GJ short, but I don't want to be aggressively short as this thing's correcting higher. But again, it hasn't broken this yet. So, yeah, you can see like it's moving higher. Like, just might, I don't know. Just might not be a place I can make a play. Like I said, last time it got here, it fell off. So we'll see. We'll see what it does. I got like another 30 minutes or so. Yeah, calling it a day is never a bad idea because you don't lose. You might not make anything, but I'd rather make zero than lose. It's easier to come back from zero. Yeah, man, look at EU is just up and out. Dollar index, just like we said, we really felt like it had downside, but there was just no entry. There really wasn't. At least that I could qualify. GU on EU, like. You take that for 15, you need 30, but there's not enough in ADR. I don't like to be that extended. It's like the same here on the minute, you know. You take this for like 12 or something, you're almost there. Yeah, you just stuck. AU's coming higher. We had said on this 5 minute that what you might see is because it cleared this high, but it was a really big candle, so that you might see it like kind of consolidate a little bit before you get more burst. We looked at the length of this candle to ADR and we determined that there wasn't enough space, and I didn't feel like holding it all day and into Asia potentially. So yeah, a little bit of a I wouldn't say slow, like, because there's been some movement today, but just slow in terms of where you can find entries. At least on these 5 pairs, I haven't looked at anything else. Falling to the lows potentially, breaking into this zone. Had had been in here. I mean, that's not my trading session anyway, but I mean, kind of like right here at the end of it. Let's see. You could see that you were kind of consolidating. Just this is like a whole range here. Maybe this candle here, if you were long biased, but that doesn't really clear anything. So now, I mean, you would see this, but I don't know that I would take it. I don't know. Maybe here on a 5 minute. Maybe this. If you do it like this, like kind of up, and then this candle right here kind of clears all of these bodies. So maybe that's the one that ignites it at 8:55. Yeah, it's definitely you're at these highs right here. Technically, you bodied over it. You have to see how this is a 5 minute. Yeah, it still looks like it's trying to come higher though. You definitely could see the divergence from all the way back here. Highest, you know, divergent. To me, I would draw it like this. Break that, show me failure, then push down. Could be as simple as that. It's kind of ascending channel. So like break under it, which would tell me that the uptrend is potentially stopped, and then reject off it with like a bearish candle. Then maybe you could see that, and then maybe it just comes back to like a full reset. Maybe, doesn't have to. Oh no, AN moving which way? Yeah, it's starting to break to the upside. Yeah. I don't want to get caught in this, but you can see like you are throwing like indecision right here with this doji. Yeah, it's kind of like a hammer. No, it's not a hammer. It's kind of like a doji. It's just an indecision candle. Could still move up from here though. Could definitely still move up from here. But if it throws another wick and this next candle settles down, I might be trying to look for shorts because at that point then this area has sellers in it. But for right now it's going up, so I can't short it here. And I also can't buy it here either. So I'm kind of SOL. EU right back to this kind of trend line that we had drawn, this descending channel that we picked up on the higher time frames. See how like touch, 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 it's come from the bottom and moves right back to the top. So let's see how it handles here, if it like holds and then falls off, or is that ADR though? I'm gonna keep my eye on this for like my last 30 minutes. It does look like it's trying to come higher right now. To sell it would be potentially tricky and might be incorrect. And you might be trying to catch it at the top, which would be even more difficult. I would have liked to seen down here. See how it like kind of broke down? I would have liked to have seen another bearish candle like that, and then you feel more confirmed and then you take the short. Up here, I don't want to call it like try and say like, oh, like I'm calling a top. I know that I am trying to go with the overall trend, which has been down. Hasn't broken Friday's highs. It's kind of right back at it. And on the higher time frames, we said I would like to try and see it come down, but right now it's just got too much momentum to the upside to try and go short with it. And it's kind of too much of a miss for me to buy. I don't want to buy it up here. Well, I'm tired today. Here comes EA. Maybe. Maybe this candle kind of gets it going. Close to ADR. Within like 35 pips. I'd probably be taking like 20 pip stop or something like that. Try and come back and test the lows from Friday. Because we do like that it's an overall downtrend. Even it's choppy, but the trend before it was down, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, like it had been falling, clearly. But looks like maybe it made a higher low, higher high. But still, I don't know. Just choppy. You have to stay away from it when it looks like this. No matter how much you want to trade it, I think you just gotta stay away from it. If it's not clear and obvious, then you're just gonna give yourself a headache. Oh. This thing is just still moving. Hmm. Really not much to say today. It's kind of ugly. GJ just moving higher. So this is definitely correcting off of this downtrend. Trying to break out of this level. Check this high at like 15 maybe. Because it's trying to clear this one. And I am hungry. Hungry, hungry. The XY is still just falling. Just free fall. Only one you're looking at is EA short, kinda. Yeah, I was saying on this 5 minute right here that maybe this is like an igniting candle right here. Kind of came down, consolidated, broke out, failed to like ignite to the upside. This one, and now maybe you're gonna like potentially see it like consolidate and then push. Looks pretty good here. It keeps like it pinned back, close through. It seems probable, and then like you're trying to come back down here to like 60, so maybe like 30 pips. But I don't know this for certain just because of how choppy this has been. It's been really choppy, but I mean, you see where you could have some potential, but it's just struggling. It seems like USD is what's moving right now. Everything that's like a cross pair is kind of just like static. The money's in USD, GU, EU, EU, GU, AU. Yeah, higher. So the dollar's moving today. GJ's breaking up to 133, continuing higher. If AU is coming higher, then EA could potentially come lower, potentially. Doesn't have to. It's not 100% correlation. Just a choppy mess. You're right at the Asia low here. Did kind of break it a little bit, but then pulled itself right back into it. So it's like it's not completely clean. And that's why things like indicators and stuff are so subjective, because we saw back here when I was saying it, when it was like this, um, and I was saying, oh, look, see how it's like failing here? Like it's making this double top, and it's like failing. It's under this market sentiment, like it's kind of like failing. But then this candle didn't close, and then just boop, bang. Subjective. That's why this is subjective. That's why I don't like indicators. All right, CD, you have a good one, man. I think it's a good call. I think maybe this divergence is finally kicking in on GJ. You're like breaking this trend line down. It's not enough for me to sell it yet, but you can see it's just struggling up here. So it's like hitting this area, and it's like the last candle was kind of like a doji, just indecision. Tried to come up. You got a minute and a half left, so it could do anything. It could still fill this, but right now it's like just pressing back into this area. Doesn't mean sell it. Just keep an eye on it. This thing's definitely got momentum right now. It would be an extremely hard sell. I don't know, man. What was your analysis on it? Why where did you feel like you had a good entry at? Because if you're taking it long, you're definitely going counter to the trend. Was it just like this extreme overselling on the 5-minute, 15-minute, just that kind of like confluence of like just being gassed out and maybe looking for a correction to the upside? GJ breaking his zone. Yeah, EA just came right back up too. 11 o'clock, there's news, right? CAD. Okay, we're not at 11 o'clock yet, but you can see it, the hold in here, potentially on EA. Just too choppy. GJ pushing higher. Yeah, whiff. Whiff today. There's just complete whiff. Didn't really have clean entries. The ones that I did have, I wasn't really interested in taking. So I guess indeed on GJ, this structure is valid. Came up, made a higher low, made a higher high, made a higher low, and then broke out. Not sure. Maybe this is a level too. Something like that. See what happens here. Happens. But right now, this thing's up, and away. EU with the strength. Broke the level. Came back. Now it's pushing off of this zone that we had. Again, this has been in an uptrend. Last week could just be a correction. If it is, then you'd want to see it, break the structure, retest as support, and then you get in on the next blast out. Still in a buying potential. This could be like a 3 candle, 1, 2, 3. If it, you got 6 hours before this market closes, so it could do anything. It could suck down and just be like a huge pin. You don't know, but if this was to close like this is almost like a 1, 2, 3 up and out, and then maybe you see it potentially come and retest these highs because if you were looking at this and you weren't looking up here and seeing like a 1 day, say you saw a 15-minute, and I read every chart the same, what would you say? You say, oh, well, it came up and now it's correcting and we're still looking to potentially crack these highs and come check this structure high here. That makes the most sense to me. I wouldn't be trying to sell it just because it's corrected. So why would you look at the daily any different? It just corrected. We have to wait and see how today closes, and you have to look and see how tomorrow is shaping up. Does it still have, bullish momentum? Is this dollar index still, falling as it had been falling? Oops, I forgot this is daily. From here, because right here, 3 candle, bearish engulfing on the 26th. Kind of came, chopped, 1, 2, 3. cracks out of this consolidation range underneath this stationary 50 here, which leads you to believe more of like a selling potential, and just the same way that EU cracked out, kind of down and up and out. Use this as support here on this 50, and then just found momentum to the upside, consolidation, or excuse me, correction potential back to the upside. Now it doesn't just go like boom, 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 you know, like maybe it does. Maybe it just goes 1 day, 2 day, 3 days, and it's up and out. It could just come up, fizzle, you know, who knows? One day at a time, one candle at a time. But I mean, yeah, up a lot of pins and wicks in this area, so you can see there's definitely a lot of rejection, but it's still trying to come to the upside. Oh, geez, I keep punching this mic. GJ falling out a little bit. Again, I do like GJ short. You can see this pin right here, kind of checking these highs from Friday. I still like it to the downside. But you don't want to sell it when it's showing you momentum to the upside. That's just silly. You have to wait for that momentum to die out. I don't know when that's going to be. It's probably after my session, if at all. Maybe it just keeps moving higher. A little bit of a weird session today with me having to go to the doctor, and a little tired, so I feel off. So I apologize if the stream is a little bit lackluster today. I'm definitely I'll bring the fuego tomorrow. EU train. See, we're kind of like breaking out. Like it broke to the upside, but then immediately rejected down. You can see this at 10:45. It's up, and now it's immediately down. Now this could just be pulling back, testing levels before coming higher. It could be testing the top of these highs right here on the 15-minute. Like you broke it, and now but again, like there's a lot of rejection in this zone. I'd potentially like to see another shot to the top and failure. I don't know that I'd want to get in right there. There's still potential for the upside. But who knows, maybe this thing just flies off. Let's see what happens as it hits this area right here, like 87, 88. Because again, if it breaks the highs, comes back and retests them as support and then moves off of that, if it's indeed, because then that would create like the higher low. Higher high, come back, make a higher low than this right here, and then I don't think I'm ready to short it here yet. Still potential to the upside. EA pushing higher. AU just hit that high and just see it. Hit this high here and just couldn't, through 15 minutes worth of just rejection, and then strong candle right back down. Now you can see you have divergence here, but you also have like this trend line being like cracked. So I'd like to see it come up and maybe try and break this high. And if it shows me failure and another push down, then maybe I might think that that's done then, maybe. And potentially the sellers are taking over. But it's a tough area to try and take a sell because it's still moving up. So I'm kind of at a loss at the moment. It's just looks pretty strong on the hour. We are trying to get to these highs. Everything looks like it's kind of rising. See how quickly it just came right back up. It fell off hard. Now it's pushing right back up. But if it can't break these highs, then this long momentum may be fizzling out. Doesn't look like it though. Still looks strong. Got this 2 candle right here on a 5-minute. Trying to like engulf. Not bad. Not through the trend line, really. It could. If there's still momentum to the upside, then obviously, but I like to see it through because that just gives me more confirmation. But again, this is a subjective indicator. I am subjecting the truth of the market, which is the candle, to what this indicator tells me. It's not always correct. So if you like if you like two candle engulfing bullish candles, that is pretty close to one right here. I mean, it does engulf, but I'm not trading a high like this. That's just, like I said, my thought process was to the downside, but right now it just looks like it's moving higher. So I think I might just have to call it a day here and just see if I can catch it tomorrow. Hope I don't miss it in London. And this could be a pullback here on AU potentially. Maybe it just pulls back, consolidates, and continues higher. Because the market's like a wave, so it's got to break and retest, break and retest. Got some news tomorrow. The pound and euro. Wednesday's clean. Thursday pretty decent. So not a bad week ahead. At the moment, failing to make a higher high. But don't let that short term be, short-sighted. Because if you look on like the hour, you're clearly like breaking up and out. Kind of see like you broke up, came down. Here's a two candle, bullish engulfing. Consolidates, moves higher. This is clearly up and out. So you might see it come down, but you might see it come down just to like kind of retest maybe this area back to like the 85 around there, just kind of like test, and then it's making a higher high here. I wouldn't be selling. It's hit this area too here. So maybe it finds resistance here. Again, it just looks like it's got momentum to the upside. To me, it might just be like it would be like a hard sell. So it came back up though. I don't know. I really don't. I only like to use the 1 minute and the 5 minute when the higher time frame is confirming it. I don't like to just try and be like, oh, well, it's stalling here, so it's going to come down. But you look at the hour and the 15 minute and the thing's up. That's just stupid. You have to have it all work in unison together. Otherwise, it's not worth it. Right now, it's just moving up. So I guess that's where my day ends. I'm not gonna sit on here and try and find anything or force anything. It's Monday. It's whatever. We had a good read for the DXY to come lower, which threw EU up higher, but unfortunately, just couldn't find anything that made sense. This one, like right when we got on at like 9 o'clock, but again, I wasn't really ready, and the market had been in a downtrend, so I wasn't, just sometimes it takes a little bit longer to get analysis. Now is this like this here? Now do you have this going on? Are you starting that type of thing now? Failed to make a high. Now you got like a corrective channel. I don't know. Failing to break this high. Still, nah, I don't think I can put the sell here. Just doesn't, I don't want to call a top. And then you just get boop, just get punched out. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna scratch it. Oh, I'll leave this up just for the fun of it, but yeah, I think this is where my day ends. So that's where we're at. A little bit of a slower day. It's been, this market's been a little bit slower this last couple of days. There's still moves to be made, but unfortunately, I only trade New York, so I'm not up in London or any of those sessions to really take advantage of everything that the market is offering, and that's all right. If I find that it really starts to become an issue week after week after week, and I'm not finding opportunities, then maybe I have to change things. But for now, the market's just kind of been a little bit choppy, and sometimes you just got to deal with that. But I hope everybody has a good day. Good luck with the rest of your trading session if you're staying on the market and trading. And I'll be back tomorrow 8:30, same time. No doctor's appointment or anything like that. And hopefully tomorrow we got a lot more to talk about and discuss. And we'll take it from there. But I appreciate you being on as always. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. And I will catch you all on the flip. Later.